game as the wear and tear starts to kind of set in this battle.
Kentucky State had them close to that threshold, but just could not push them all the way over as Clark-Atlanta won that ball game 77-72. Short on the bench they are, but they'll work it with the players on the floor and down low underneath on a reverse lay-in. That's Fuller, but he missed there. Tuskegee back the other way looking for their first field goal. Walker out front, he'll take the long jumper, missed there, and a rebound cleared at the block by Fuller.
Again, a lot of size for Clark-Atlanta. You know, you don't want to get into a jump shooting situation here for Tuskegee, so you got to find some ways to be creative offensively, maybe to get Fuller and some of those other guys up out of the block and try to find some cuts to the basket.
Speaking of cutting to the basket, they try to get it inside to Jackson, but at the block and running it down, Seasbury giving chase, and the basketball back the other way as Sesbury. They say that he touched it last.
You think Clark-Atlanta would have learned a lesson already about, you know, getting in people's faces and doing a little too much. Bench already short, and they're starting a little bit of the shenanigans early.
Roderick Jones and Sesbury kind of tying it up. Out front, Clark-Atlanta with a shot clock violation there. Basketball to Tuskegee. So that's a good defensive set for Tuskegee defensively, and that is their strong suit. They finished third in the conference in scoring defense, first in field goal percentage defense, and second in three-point percentage defense. Just about all the angles on the floor there. Tuskegee leading the conference in those areas defensively. Right now they trail 2-0, just underway here, first half action. Noah Goins pushes back up top. Now Pennington surveys. At the block they go to Draper. Draper on Fuller. Pitches back across the floor. Sesbury for three. Bingo for Sesbury.
Well, he's starting off where he left off. He had the big bucket that won the ball game on last night. And now he's back to shooting it from downtown again.
Finished with 28 points and 5 rebounds in the quarterfinal win against Albany State. Down in the corner, jumper there by Griffith, air ball by him, backside rebound to Pennington for Tuskegee. Bounce pass across the floor, Sesbury again for 3, same result, different side of the floor. When you talk about a pure shooter, he is absolutely the definition of it.
And he's going to keep shooting. We saw in the game last night, in the first half, he made the first 4, then missed the next 4, and came back and made the next 4.
Jump ball call there to stay with Clark-Atlanta, but they got lucky there. Roderick Jones almost guilty of a travel possession. As you take a look at Sesbury in space, they're going to have to do a better job of coming out on him because he can do that just about all night long.
And if you're Tuskegee, you want to grind this Clark-Atlanta team, and you would think that's not the way you want to play against them, those big bodies, long, rangy bodies out there that Clark-Atlanta would want to grind. But Tuskegee defensively certainly does it night in, night out. And again, this is a shorthanded Clark bunch. Another jump ball,
yeah. This time the arrow flips, and it's Tuskegee's basketball. 16:50 left, first half of play, just underway. As you take a look at that set there and tie up at the block. Griffith had a hand on it early on, but Goins converges, Rodney Walker converges as well. Tuskegee with a 6-2 lead and the basketball in a half-court set. Sesbury out front. Now they'll pull defensively. Jalen Williams out on him. Sesbury in the corner. Draper going back to the other side instead. Now on the turn, Sesbury again. Looks good, and it is good. Triples for Sesbury. Back to back to back. And he forces an early timeout by head coach Alfred Jordan and the Panthers of Clark-Atlanta.
Because for some reason, Shamani Fuller is out there on Sesbury, and he's like, why am I out here having to try to guard this guy? He's lighting me up right in my face. Watch the pass here over to the wing. Fuller's going to try to close out, but it's too late because Sesbury has that trigger on lock, and he's ready to explode, and there he does with his third triple.
Timeout on the floor. We'll take a break as well. Nope, got the wrong cue on that. She's down to our right. She's not standing. She's sitting.
Sitting by.
We'll get to Simone and the next break. 9-2 lead for the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee. All credit to the three-point shots by Kevin Sesberry.
He set the pace last night against Albany State, and he's done the same here against Clark-Atlanta. Let's see if they make a defensive change on him to kind of slow it down a bit.
Alley-oop at the rack and a whistle. It'll stay on this end of the floor. Martez Jones out on the floor, and a foul called on Noah Goins for Tuskegee on the inside, so Noah picks up his first personal. Non-shooting foul.
This is going to be the fun matchup there, Charles. Martez Jones, a former Tuskegee Golden Tiger, going against many of his old teammates here in this matchup, and you know, both of them want to get to the championship game and try to get a ring. And so we'll see how Martez is played and how he plays.
Trying to work his way on the inside on Goins, and a whistle there. Goins from behind. Jones trying to find some space and just pushes Goins down to the floor, and Noah gets hit for the personal. He's already got two, so quickly Coach Taylor going with Amir Boyce in the lineup. They're going to have to just try to throw some bodies at Jones inside. Martez going for 23 points and 6 rebounds in the quarterfinal win against Kentucky State. Half court set now as Little is out on the floor. All tapped around. They blocked out well that time. Nothing but black jerseys, and Tuskegee back the other way with a 9-2 lead. Pennington right side, got space, jumper, good by Pennington.
Pennington had a tough night last night, but he comes out and he gets to the same spot he was getting to last night, but this time he knocks it down. Tuskegee off to the hot start.
Finished with 7 points and 3 assists. Jones at the block, floater, missed there, tapped it in on the right side.
He certainly was a ball of energy when the team really needed it against Kentucky State on Wednesday night was Jones, and he comes in right now, misses that first shot, but gets that offensive tip in.
Yeah, finished with 23, got most of that in that second half in that win. Pennington out front for Tuskegee, off of a screen by Boyce. They jump him, Pennington foul line extended, can't get the shot off. Walker will from out front. Back of the iron, had a good look. It taps around, front of the cylinder a couple of times. And the basketball into the hands of Little. He lost it. Tuskegee back the other way. Draper at the block right side. To the rack, to the glass, and he banked it on the second effort.
All the energy is on the Tuskegee side of the ball right now. Benches up, hollering and cheering. The players are getting that extra effort on the floor. Clark-Atlanta looks a little flat.
Out top with the basketball, it's Fuller. Lets it down inside to Jones. Jones doubled on the inside, and they'll go to the arrow after some good defensive work there as Tuskegee converging on their former teammate. I think it's going to stay with Clark-Atlanta. They're not sure about that, but on the jump ball is what they called, so CAU will still have it.
Look, a lot of excitement there. Boyce was certainly amped up there by getting the block on Martez.
Yeah, you know that was locker room talk there for Tuskegee. Jumper out front. This one's short of the mark. Rebound fought for him. Amir Boyce comes away with it for Tuskegee. Amir, the sophomore from Long Island, with his first rebound. Pennington across the timeline. Out on the floor now, Najee Cologne handles defensively for Clark-Atlanta. Draper out front on the weave. It's Sesberry. Back to Draper. Foul line extended. Now over to Pennington. Pennington on the move, got space, jumper, good again.
What a difference a night makes. He could not knock that down for anything last night. First two here, real true for Pennington.
They lead 15-4, Tuskegee over Clark-Atlanta with 13:20 left first half. Dylan Cambridge out on the floor, almost comes away with the steal. Long three-point shot there by Little is off the mark. Cologne had it, lost it out of bounds. Basketball to Tuskegee. Ozell Jackson, the senior from the Bronx, New York, out on the floor as this miss there by Little leads to that basketball at the sideline. And Cologne lost it, and Tuskegee will have it. Dylan Cambridge, the redshirt sophomore, out on the floor for Coach Taylor and Tuskegee. Pennington in the backcourt now works with left side Cambridge. Hill square, dumps it back to Pennington, other side of the floor. Lead behind for Draper. Draper turns to the inside and lost the basketball. Cologne with it for Clark-Atlanta. He'll work the middle of the floor. Lead behind for Jackson. Little on the move right side. Underneath the defense to the glass, and he banked it home for the Panthers.
Good job being patient there. He did have the open three. Elected not to take it. Drove to the basket and was still patient there. Just waited for the defense to kind of clear out and was able to get a pretty easy layup.
12:30 remains first half. Tuskegee with a 15-6 lead. Winner of this ball game into the championship tomorrow right here at Forbes Arena. Pennington out front, up top, Cambridge whistles inside. Fuller went to the floor, but he was the one that was guilty of the foul. So Fuller with his first personal.
Look at the face, the body language of Fuller. He looks a bit frustrated. He's not been able to get any calls. Hasn't gotten any good looks on the offensive end, and had a couple threes rained in his face. I'm sure that's not going to make for a happy guy.
Yeah, you want to avenge that pretty quickly. Entry pass, jumper, Sesbury. Missed on that one. Finally missed one early here in this first half of play. Backside rebound, cleared out of there by Jackson. And here comes Clark-Atlanta. Cologne up top with the pass to Fuller. Trying to dump it at the block to Jones if they can get it there. Amir Boyce trying to square him up on the inside. Cologne with a head fake, and that's a travel, I believe. Yep, back the other way. Officiating crew, Corey Taylor, one of the seasoned officials in the SIAC. He's joined by Kareem McDougal and Cindy with the call here in this semifinal matchup. We'll come to a timeout here with 11:55 left first half. Comes with Tuskegee leading at 15-6 over the Panthers of Clark-Atlanta. Back live here inside Forbes Arena at the timeout with 11:55 remaining. It's a 15-6 lead for the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee over the Panthers of Clark-Atlanta. Let's go courtside, Simone Stanley.
I listened into the Clark-Atlanta huddle, and Coach Jordan was fired up, but he was telling the team to calm down. He said it's a game of runs. They're getting theirs, but we will get ours. He specifically told the team that he wants them to get the ball to Martez Jones.
They are trying to work it inside the Jones. Tuskegee trying to do everything they can to deny him the basketball, double and triple teaming him in certain situations. Walker out front for Tuskegee now. Slides it back to the right. Chip Culpepper out on the floor now. And he lost his dribble. Bounce pass at the block. Draper, 9 to shoot. One-on-one with Jones. Draper head fakes, got the floater to the rack. It won't stay though. Basketball tapped out of bounds. Clark-Atlanta with it. Draper tried to go for a steal there at the block. He's down, but he's back the other way. Numbers for Clark-Atlanta as they work it on the inside. Culpepper guilty of the foul as Fuller worked it inside the paint.
Well, Tuskegee is certainly playing tough ball here tonight. The offense is certainly a good part of what they're doing in being able to get this lead, but now you're watching them be physical with Clark-Atlanta, and again, as I talked about at the beginning, will Clark-Atlanta have that energy come towards the end of the ball game to sustain all of this physicalness that Tuskegee is bringing to them?
As you took that look at that replay with Fuller down on the floor after the contact on the inside, stayed down there for several seconds after the contact as he comes to the free throw line and misses the first.
And it may be more than just the physical toll that Clark-Atlanta is working through. They are going to have to work through some mental things as well, because when that fatigue starts to wear on you, sometimes you don't make all the smart decisions that you need to make.
Fuller missed them both from the line. Cambridge got the rebound for Tuskegee. Over to Walker. Now Draper in the front court. And they'll slide it left side. At the block, they're trying to get it into Draper. One-on-one on Jones with the floater inside, and Draper got the basket for Tuskegee. That's his second field goal of this first half. And Tuskegee with a 17-6 lead after the basket. Jones with it, left block now, had it taken away. Seasbury stepped in and took it away for Tuskegee. He'll run the floor all the way through. Reverse lay in by Sesbury with the basket for Tuskegee.
Well, this has been a dominant first 10 minutes for Tuskegee. They're getting it done inside and outside with the shooting. You're seeing the extra effort, playing defense, denying the post entry. Everything working well right now for the Golden Tigers.
Sesbury with 11 after that reverse. Whistles inside the paint. Cambridge guarding Martez Jones. Dillon guilty of the personal foul for Tuskegee. Martez really showing that he's winded at this point. See him crouching with his knees there on the floor. And Tuskegee just trying to keep running some bodies out in front of him. Sesbury will take a seat with 10:19 remaining in this first half. Cologne off the floor. He'll be replaced in the lineup by the senior Jalen Williams. And right of the cylinder, Jackson to inbound it. Got it in the corner. Griffith with it, trying to work it back out front. At the block, double down there. They send it inside. Williams has his shot rejected inside by DeAnthony Pennington. Pennington back on the floor. Lee behind for three. Pennington. Oh, yeah! Way out front on a rainbow three there for D.A. Pennington.
Boy, they are red hot shooting the basketball from everywhere. Tuskegee's getting the jumpers from Pennington that were not there on last night. And again, Clark-Atlanta, they're going to have to do something and do something quick, because Tuskegee is coming with all of the energy.
Look at Pennington after they tie up Jackson near the sideline just in front of us. They almost came away with a steal there. It's D.A. from out front. Rainbow triple by him. That one near at the top of Ford's Arena before it came down. On the turn now, it's Little with the basketball, 6 to shoot. Floater by Little in the paint. That's nicely done for the field goal for the Panthers. He's got 4. Under 10 remains. Tuskegee with a 22-8 lead. Draper out front. Now Cambridge. Culpepper surveys, trying to get it to Draper on a one-on-one. He's calling for the basketball on Jones. Works inside, lost it on the floor. Basketball to Clark-Atlanta.
Got to play a little stronger with the ball there. That was a bump, but it wasn't enough of a bump where you should have lost the basketball.
Down in the corner, one-on-one now. Cambridge and a whistle there, turn, and they'll count the basket. Griffith on the turning jumper. Cambridge trying to catch up. Commits his second personal, and Griffith with the field goal.
Cambridge working outside of the lane, gets that turnaround jumper to fall, and now Clark-Atlanta starting to get a little bit of momentum. Tuskegee's going to have to try to keep its collective foot on their necks.
Looking at that replay, Cambridge guilty of his second personal, and Griffith at the line to shoot. 8:55 left first half. Waiting in the wings for the winner of this ball game, the Tigers of Savannah State. Championship play tomorrow at 4:30 right here at Forbes Arena. Women's championship matchup has already been decided. It'll be the Lady Bears of Miles College, who won over Lemoyne earlier today, 62-57. They will go up against the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee. They won 60-48 over the Lady Panthers of Clark-Atlanta. Half-court set, Tuskegee leading 22-11 after the free throws on the other end. Pennington behind the arc, now head fakes. Can't get a shot airborne. Pushes back out. Had it tapped away down at the block. Culpepper trying to go back across the floor to Draper instead of taking that shot himself on the right side.
Well, he went right up and been a lot more effective than trying to pass out of it. Sometimes you got to know what's going on around you, and I don't think Culpepper knew that he was there all by himself.
Out front with the basketball is Williams for Clark-Atlanta. He'll slide right side with 8:15 left. Behind the arc, Little for three. Missed on the long shot. The rebound cleared on the long rebound by Pennington for Tuskegee. Rodney Walker back out on the floor now. He'll handle the basketball out front as we go to under 8 minutes left first half. Left side, Pennington thought about a three from out front and put it on the floor instead. Walker out front for three, got a look, and Rodney Walker from out front with a triple.
Boy, Tuskegee really drilling it from downtown. They're now 5 of 8 behind the arc. My math serves me correct. That's probably somewhere around 62.5%, Charles. What you think?
I think you're going to be pretty close, right at the number. Must have had a cheat sheet. Jumper in the corner. That's a three-point effort. That shot is off the mark. Rebound cleared by Tuskegee. They lead 25-11. We're at 7:20 left first half. In the corner. Up top, Walker. He'll slide right side. All the way, lead behind left side Draper, but he led him too far and out of bounds on the pass.
Good idea there by Walker as you saw him come around the screen here, and they were going to try to do a little roll, but instead, that's going to be the play before. Walker hitting a three.
Yes. 5
of them for Tuskegee as we go to the break, up 14 here at the 2025 Men's Basketball Championship in the SIAC.
Timeout. 7 minutes, 11 seconds remains in this first half. Tuskegee with a really good start for them. They lead 25-11 over the Panthers of Clark-Atlanta. CAU finished first in the East. Tuskegee second in the West. After the timeout, full court pressure by CAU. In the backcourt, it's Jackson for Clark-Atlanta. He'll come across the timeline, works it right flank to Williams. Up top, Fuller with the basketball. Tuskegee's dropped into a zone defense now in that half-court set. Little at the base, missed on the shot. Martez Jones there with a rebound and a flush putback for Clark-Atlanta.
He didn't look winded there as he catches it up off the rim and slams it home with 2 hands. But Clark-Atlanta's bigger problem is Tuskegee red hot, shooting a scintillating 67% from the field.
Here's Walker again for 3. This one skips the rim, and the rebound to Jones at the block for Clark-Atlanta. Jackson across the timeline, gives it to Williams. Good work out front. Walker almost with a steal there. Down in the corner, got it in the hands of Fuller. Goins guarding him. Noah out there with 2 personals. They'll try to attack him inside and push it back out front to Williams instead. Now 5 to shoot for Clark-Atlanta. Williams fires, but he missed on the shot. Tapped around and a whistle there. Over the back, it's Martez Jones.
Jones got a little extra height on that jump to get the rebound, mostly by jumping on the shoulders of someone down there up underneath the basket.
Helps you elevate just a little bit higher, huh? Under 6 minutes left first half. Tuskegee with a 25-13 lead. Walker lost his dribble out front and goes across the floor to Sesbury. Pennington out front. 15 to shoot. He'll slide left side. Jumper by Pennington. Crease the rim. Boyce got a hand on it, but Clark-Atlanta will come away with it. Little across the timeline for CAU. We're at 5:30 remaining in the first half. Tuskegee up by 12. Little hard push right side. Inside floater by Jones. Good defensive work there inside for Tuskegee. Distracted him a little bit on that shot. A little slight partial block there. Pennington for three. Spinner down in the cylinder, and it comes out of there. Tuskegee missed on that three-point opportunity, and Clark-Atlanta back the other way.
And these rims all week, man, they have had some play in them. We've seen several shots have spun around and out for both squads, or for all the squads here this week.
Fuller ran into traffic on the inside. Sesberry took it away. He'll run the floor on the other end, and he's fouled on the lay-in attempt.
I think they didn't call a foul. I think they just called it a knockout of bounds.
So the defense for Tuskegee leads to the offense there as they got Fuller trapped on the inside, and they took it away. Out on the floor now, Roderick Jones reports back. He'll replace Ozell Jackson in the CAU lineup. Walker, entry pass, Goins to the glass, missed on the bank, but he got a rebound on the inside. He'll back it out, the restart. Draper now pushes, corner. Rodney Walker bangs a three in the corner for Tuskegee. His second three-pointer.
Golden Tigers shooting over 50% from downtown. A lot of times you think that's not sustainable, but man, when you're getting those kind of open looks that Tuskegee has gotten here in the first half, yeah, it's almost like practice if you're just standing there and only have to look at the rim.
Yeah, Clark-Atlanta just not pushing anybody out there on the perimeter to cover. Jumper in the corner, and that one's answered with a three there by Roderick Jones. The senior from Albany, Georgia, knocks that one down. That's his first field goal. 4:13 left first half. Tuskegee with a 28-16 lead. Draper pops out for the basketball. On a weave, Pennington. Pennington at the block, going free, wide open down low, and he got the basket. This is easy pickings for Tuskegee right now. They're taking their choices out front or either down low.
And it's almost as if Clark-Atlanta, even if they do know what's going to happen, they don't have the juice, the legs to be able to get to where they need to get to stop Tuskegee.
Yeah, it's a little bit early to pronounce that they're completely done in terms of the physicality of it all. But we're going back the other way with a push-off there by Clark-Atlanta as Rodney Walker celebrates with a smile on that defensive effort. Timeout on the floor with 3:39 remaining in the first half. You take a look at some of the action on the floor as we go to the break. Primarily, Rodney Walker finds the bottom for Tuskegee in the corner. They lead 30-16. Back with more basketball from the tournament after this timeout. Basketball championships presented by Cricket. Charles Ward, A.A. Moore, Simone Stanley with the coverage here for ESPN Plus. After the timeout, players making it back to the floor. Tuskegee onto the floor, leading at 30-16. And Simone with a report from sideline.
Not much going on in the Tuskegee huddle. Obviously not much they have to say, but keep up the good job. Coach did tell the guys to continue to box out, and he did give Draper a shout out for his efforts so far this half.
Tuskegee firing on all cylinders from the floor as Sesberry throws the basketball in traffic. Draper able to pick it up for Tuskegee though. Sesberry on the move right side to the rack. Banked the shot, missed there, but he'll be going to the free throw line for the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee.
Even on Wednesday night, Kentucky State was able to get to the cup on Clark-Atlanta. And again, when you're playing short and you've got guys who are going to get a little tired, a little weary, those loose balls, which Clark-Atlanta has gotten to a lot this year, they're not getting there. Fresher legs, fresher body, even though Tuskegee played last night, belongs to the Golden Tigers.
Sesberry with 12 in the ball game now after that free throw. And Tuskegee's lead is at 31-16, 3:24 remaining in this first half. Teams met once during the regular season. It was a tight ball game that Clark-Atlanta won 51-50. Sesberry knocks them both down from the free throw line that trip.
A couple baskets inside the last 20 seconds for Clark-Atlanta led to that victory. Tuskegee looked like he had it in hand and just let that ball game go.
Griffith out front now. At the block, got it to Fuller. Fuller had it tapped from behind by Pennington. And back out front, Clark-Atlanta moves the basketball around. Griffith inside, shot blocked on the inside. Draper blocked it, and he got the free basketball as well. Walker now. On the move, right side is Pennington. Draper looking for a spot there. They try to slide it inside. They throw it away. And they'll get Draper for a foul there. And it's because of that pass that they tried to get inside the Draper that it results in Draper fouling. Fuller was fully in front of Draper there on that attempted bounce pass from Pennington. And Draper picks up his first. You got a lead like this, you got all the comfort in the world to just make sure your passes are accurate. That's floating on the inside as Williams. He got to lay in left side.
Clark-Atlanta trying to do what it can to kind of chip into this deficit, but again, another big block though.
Yeah, down at the block, that was Griffith. Goins trying to sneak one in on the right side lay-in, but Griffith's there to block it. As we come back and take a look at that, as Walker pushed it down at the block, and Noah trying to sneak to the right side of the cylinder, and that's where he ran into Griffith.
Nearly pinned that one directly against the backboard.
Goins takes a seat. Dylan Cambridge back out on the floor for Tuskegee. Walker looking to the inside, pushes back out front to Cambridge in traffic, and they almost throw the basketball away. Walker bounce pass at the block. Draper doubled there, and a whistle called on the inside, and they'll go to the arrow to stay with Tuskegee.
Tuskegee still trying to push that ball down inside, make Clark-Atlanta work.
2:10 left first half. Pennington looks to the inside. Now Drake Seasbury behind in the corner. Jumper there, rattled it good for Tuskegee. That was another three-pointer there by Seasbury. That's his fourth three-pointer of this first half.
7 of 12 from downtown for Tuskegee. They have been shooting it lights out here in this opening half.
Very kind of nonchalant on that three-point effort. Jumper out front. This one in the cylinder and out by Jones. Rebound on a putback on the inside by Fuller. And Fuller will go to the line for Clark-Atlanta. So watching Fuller after that work on the inside, he looks a little bit winded.
Yeah, I wouldn't say a little bit. I'd say a lot of it, because he was winded on the other end here on the ball that it went out of bounds. He is having to work extra hard just to get the work done that he is getting done for Clark-Atlanta.
Coach Alfred Jordan is doing all he can to find subs when he can to get them on the floor. Limited in terms of personnel on that bench. 35-21 with 1:40 remaining in the first half. Pennington back out front to Walker. Sesbury on the move right side. Pushes back out front, Pennington. Walker on the move. Now back to Sesbury. Free, here's a three. Drains it again. My, oh my. He's got 5 triples in this first half.
Man, look at it. He's looking over here. He's saying, I'm that guy. You can't stop it. He gets open for another triple, and he drains it.
38-21. It's been all Sesbury and Tuskegee in this first 20 minutes of play. On a weave, rolling right side is Williams. Lost it, Walker. Slapped it out of bounds on a block, and he'll get a chest pump from Sesbury as Noah Goins reports back out on the floor. Dylan Cambridge to the sideline. 63 seconds left in the first half. Ozell Zach Jackson back out on the floor for Coach Jordan and Clark-Atlanta.
Tuskegee wishes they could roll another 3 or 4 minutes back on the clock.
Sure,
the
no
way
doubt.
this first half is going, they don't want it to end.
Yeah, can we play through halftime, right? Out front, they throw it away. Pennington with the basketball. 60 seconds left now. Lead behind for Walker. And a half-court set.
Sesbury wants it. Says, bring it over here to my side.
He's there on a swing by himself over there as Pennington tries to draw that defense. And Walker at the entry pass, Draper. Draper working inside. Turns inside the paint at the block. 7 to shoot. Pennington, rainbow 3. Count it. No, he missed that one. Goins had a hand on it. Thought that was down for Pennington. Back the other way. Cologne with a run. And that one's on the rim. And a foul is going to be called against Tuskegee. Pennington with the three-pointer. Thought that was down for him, but it popped out of there. Led to a run out by Clark-Atlanta.
You know, normally you want the heat check to go. You got to go see your man who's hot. But, shoot, Pennington has been hot too. So he's like, I want to take my shot at it. Rebound comes down the other way. Cologne was nearly able to get that to fall, but he's going to be to the free throw line where he makes it first.
Yeah, in that set, Sesbury was wide open on the other side of the floor, but Tuskegee was trying to run something on the right. And that's what will happen. Coach Taylor will call a play that's set to start on one side of the floor. When they do that, they're trying to get it inside the Draper. That's the main function. But Sesberry wide open on the opposite side.
You try to stay within yourself, but again, when you've got a guy who's smoking hot,
you let him shoot it out. Sure. Every opportunity, you want to get it into his hands. 29 seconds left in this first half. Tuskegee turning in a phenomenal first half of basketball in this semifinal contest, trying to push their way into a championship meet with the Tigers of Savannah State, who took care of business in semifinal action against the Marauders of Central State, 53-48, and they are awaiting the winner of this ball game.
Well, I tell you what, midway through the second half last night, I didn't believe we'd be seeing this Tuskegee team out here. Man, they couldn't get nothing to fall.
Sure.
18 consecutive points for Albany State. It looked like this ball game had, they had gotten completely away from Tuskegee, and all of a sudden they start to grind and work through, and all of a sudden, so they're gonna check the replay here and see if they're gonna have a flagrant foul here against probably Clark-Atlanta. It looked like, because Cologne was at the line, he was shooting his free throw, it went in, and then they waved it off. Some sort of discussion that went on, and all of a sudden they sent everybody to the bench. Coach Taylor says, I'll take my time out here, but they're going to take a look here and see what happened at the free throw line.
Yeah, you saw Taylor getting up in front of the officials after that free throw, and he obviously saw something on the floor. And the officials, Corey Taylor leading the group, are taking a look at the replay down to our right. 29 seconds remains in first half play. Tuskegee with a 38-22 lead. The women from Tuskegee already in the championship ball game tomorrow at 1 o'clock. And they'll meet the Lady Panthers of Clark-Atlanta. Correction, they beat the Lady Panthers of Clark-Atlanta to get into that championship ball game, and they'll meet the Lady Bears of Miles College, who won 62-57. So the Lady Bears will be trying to repeat as the women's SIAC champs, as we take a look at the replay there. And that's exactly what they're looking at. Noah Goins down at the block. He and Mari Little kind of tying it up there as Cologne was at the free throw line shooting.
Yeah, I don't know that was necessarily flagrant. But, normally when you're standing in there and they haven't shot the ball yet, it's, everybody's chilling.
They're cool, right? Sure. Shove after the shot's in the air. They assess it, and we'll see what they come away with. Now they bring in the third official just to confirm what the two have agreed to as they took an initial look at it. Looking at that Clark-Atlanta bench, and the Clark-Atlanta fans behind the CAU bench, they are anxious to see if they find something to cheer for. Right now, they have not had a whole lot in this first half of play, as Tuskegee has just taken control of this basketball game.
And they've done it with red hot shooting, 8 of 14 from downtown, shooting 56% overall. When you're shooting like that, I don't care if you're tired, I don't care if you've had a week's rest. It's going to be hard to beat teams who aren't missing their shots from all over the floor.
Officials conferring for one more time as you take a look at the group there.
We don't have any violations. We're just going to play from the spot.
No violations called on that as they took another look at it. And that'll be Cologne coming back to the free throw line to shoot here for Clark-Atlanta.
It looked a little more like slap hands. Hey.
Sure.
Hey. Nothing flagrant about what they were doing.
Right.
It's my ice cream.
Cologne, the junior from Ackworth, Georgia. From the free throw line. That one looks hard, and it is hard. The rebound controlled by Noah Goins, and Tuskegee with a chance to close this half out with a field goal. They lead 38-22. Walker across the timeline for CAU. See who they're spreading the wings with Pennington on one side and Sesberry on the other. Pennington going to go across the floor looking for a screen. Walker with 9. Now they'll attack right side at the block. Draper. Draper turns in. Shot to the cylinder. Missed on it. Basketball controlled by Clark-Atlanta. Little hoist at the buzzer, but he missed on the shot. So we've come to the end of the first half, and this first half has been marked by the extremely good shooting of the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee from the floor. They lead it 38-22 over the Panthers of Clark-Atlanta, the winner of this ball game, into the championship tomorrow here at 4:30. Simone Stanley standing by with Coach Taylor.
Coach, Tuskegee jumped out to a 16-point lead. What led to such a hot start?
You see, I put that smile on right away.
Right away. I wasn't going to say nothing.
I'm a little flustered right now with what's going on. We're just ready to play. I mean, this time of the year, your main guys got to step up, and that's what my guys did. And we got to continue to play at a high level. We can't let them back in it. The same thing happened at our place late in the game. We let them back in it. We just got to do what we do and be competitive on the boards. They got us in the second, towards the end of the first half on rebounding, so we just got to be better.
Salisbury is already at 19 points. How do you keep him going in the second half?
He may need to get 19 more. And our guys do a good job of feeding the hot hand, and he's just such an explosive player, and he's playing the best basketball of his career because he's really coachable.
Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Simone, and thank you, Coach Taylor, for that insight. Got 19 in the first half. Your job in the second, get me 19 more.
If you do that, you'll be playing for a championship tomorrow if you're on Tuskegee side. And Clark-Atlanta just hoping, hey, let us get a little rest during this halftime and see if we can find the energy when we come back out.
Alpha Jordan, Coach of the Year last year in the SIAC, so he will have a formula for its Panthers as we start the second half. At the break, Tuskegee leads at 38-22. We'll take a time out here, more coverage after we return. Live inside Forbes Arena, a noisy Forbes Arena at that, at the intermission. 38-22 lead for the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee over the Panthers of Clark-Atlanta, the winner of this ball game into the championship ball game tomorrow against the Tigers of Savannah State. Good first half of basketball for Tuskegee with that lead, and they did it primarily from their work at the perimeter. As you take a look at some of the numbers,
Yeah, you look at that, when teams shoot 50% from the field, that's good. When they're shooting 50% from beyond three, that is exceptional. And as you saw in the first half, the heat check was on for Kevin Salisbury, but also for DeAnthony Pennington. He was also knocking it down. Ronnie Taylor, I believe, was also hitting some three balls as well. For Tuskegee, and if you can't, Rodney Walker, excuse me, and if you're not going to be able to stop that, then you're going to be in big trouble if you're Clark-Atlanta.
Pennington 5 of 6 from the arc. I beg your pardon, Salisbury 5 of 6 from the arc. Pennington with 1 3-point basket, and Walker got 2 from behind the perimeter as well. They lead it 38-22. We get set for second half action. And Tuskegee, you heard Coach Taylor talking about it with his comments to Simone Stanley headed into the locker room. They've got to stay right where they are because they know that this Clark-Atlanta team could be explosive when the need arises. And I was out there in the hallway. I saw Coach Jordan talking to one of his assistants, and their conversation was about, we just got to let it go, and we just got to get out there and start scoring some points.
You can't sit up and dwell on what's happened, who's here, who's not. You can't even really dwell on what the score is at this point. You just have to attack it. Like we talked about earlier in this tournament, there is no 16-point shot. You're not going to do it in one play or one possession. So you've got to stack those possessions on top of each other and find a way to kind of chip into this deficit.
Players getting set to come back out on the floor. Charles Ward, A.A. Moore, Simone Stanley with us at sideline as we get set for second half action. And Simone standing by with an update before we get going.
Got to listen a little bit into the Clark-Atlanta huddle. The message was, this is a whole new half, but definitely look out for them to start face guarding Salisbury.
Salisbury with 19 in that first half. Clark-Atlanta will have it on the offensive end first to start the second half. Roderick Jones, the senior from Albany, handles. Works it left side to Jalen Williams, the senior from Dallas, Texas. And now out front, Fuller. Across the floor they go. Long-range jumper. That's an air ball there. Pennington will run it down for Tuskegee. As Griffith was out front, but he missed everything on that shot. Walker in a half-court set now for Tuskegee. On a weave, gives to Pennington. First couple of minutes, we kind of tell how things are settling after the time, the intermission. Pennington, wrap a bounce pass, and he threw it right away to Clark-Atlanta. Jackson got in the lane and took it away.
One of the quickest ways you'll see a lead disappear is by turning the ball over and giving the extra opportunities to Clark-Atlanta.
Jackson works the block left side. Takeaway there by Draper at the block. He and Pennington converge, and Draper comes away with it. 1 minute already gone here in the second half. Pennington with it out front. He'll slide to his right. Now Sesbury off a cut up top. Down low to Draper. Draper at the cylinder, and he's fouled. He'll go to the line.
He had a shooter over in the corner. I think it was Pennington who was standing over there. But Draper said, I can take care of this myself. Ends up picking up the foul.
Yeah, you know they're going to be comfortable with going inside to Draper here in this second half of the ball game, because he'll either get what he's got there in terms of drawing some fouls and go to the free throw line, or convert on a basket inside. Finished with 4 points in that first half for Tuskegee, and gets the first free throw here to start the second half of his scoring. He's got 5 now. Tuskegee. I'm not even going to breath this comment until after he leaves the free throw line.
But you thought it.
He hit them both from the line. I'm going to leave it at that. So Tuskegee with a 40-22 lead after the 2 free throws by Draper. Now up top for Clark-Atlanta. Jones gives it back over to Jackson. Now in the corner, another jumper by Griffith. This time he finds the range for Clark-Atlanta.
They've left Griffith open twice now to get these 3-point shots up. He connects on that one. They're going to have to close out on him a little better.
Walker, half-court set now for Tuskegee. 18 minutes, 15 seconds left. Wraparound pass to Draper at the block. Draper trying to square and work inside on Griffith to the rack. Floater stays off, and Jackson clears for Clark-Atlanta. Outlet pass, Jalen Williams just in front of the Panther bench. Now Griffith again in the corner. Line drive, same thing.
Better put somebody in his face. We saw what happened in the first half with Tuskegee. You start getting that rhythm, start getting hot. Next thing you know, there's 4 threes that are up, and what was once a 18-point lead will be up under 10.
Pennington half-court set, Sesbury. Sesbury on the move, left side, leans back, jumper. That one's good.
Sesbury certainly a bucket getter here tonight, making it work inside and out. Pull up with that short jumper along the baseline for 2 more.
He's got 21. Half-court set for Clark-Atlanta. Griffith again with the basketball. Spins in the paint, leans back with the jumper. Missed on the shot that time. Sesbury with the rebound over to Walker. 17-15 left. Pennington outside rainbow 3. Count that one all night long as he knocked that one down for Tuskegee.
Boy, Tuskegee out here making it rain from downtown. Another 3-ball, this time the second one of the game for Pennington.
Pennington with 10 now after that triple. 16:55 remains. Half-court set. Fuller at the block, tried the reverse lay-in. He missed. Jackson got a rebound. He missed. Fuller with the follow. He converts.
Player that good, you know he's just not going to give up the ghost here tonight. He's got more. He's going to empty the tank best that he can and try to get his team back in this ball game.
Right side, Pennington behind the arc just in front of the Tuskegee bench. Walker on a give to Pennington. Easily done on a give and go. Then Pennington scores. Walker with the assist.
And you're shooting 3 balls like that, man. Those cutting lanes to the basket are going to be open because, as Clark-Atlanta has seen, you've got to go out there and defend that.
Half-court set now. Clark-Atlanta, they push it right side to the rack. Shot rejected at the block by Draper. Goins had it. He'll dive to the floor to save it for Tuskegee. Call a timeout if they can. Coach Taylor was trying to get a timeout called. They'll go to the arrow, and it'll go to Tuskegee on the arrow. 16:04 left in the basketball game. Tuskegee will have it. And Dr. Bombay a little bit late on the mop-up duties there, so Pennington takes his place in the lineup. 16:04.
He has worked both ends of the court. Normally you've got somebody on each side, but he has come out and handled every square inch of this basketball court.
Yeah, he is a staple at Morehouse College. Been here for as long as I can remember. And just an attribute for that department that you can't find anywhere else. Affectionately known as Dr. Bombay. Walker, half-court set now for Tuskegee. They lead with 15:43 remaining in the ballgame. Slide pass at the block to Draper. Draper inside to the rack. Good recovery down low by Fuller. But Goins comes away with the basketball. Tuskegee has to hurry. They got it off before the buzzer. Or no, they did not. Shot clock violation will give it back the other way to Clark-Atlanta.
That's how you know it's your night, man. Everything is falling, even the ones that don't count.
Don't count, yeah. 15:33 remains. Tuskegee with a 47-30 lead over the Panthers of Clark-Atlanta. We'll step out for a timeout on our coverage on ESPN+. Contest. Golden Tigers of Tuskegee with a 47-30 lead over the Panthers of Clark-Atlanta. Winner of this ball game on to the championship contest tomorrow at 4:30. Waiting in the wings, Tigers of Savannah State. They won over Central State in semifinal play earlier. On the floor now after the entry pass. Martez Jones able to come out and help out front as Jones fell to the surface near the mid-stripe. So half-court set now. Griffith again for three. This one creases the front of the rim. And Little trying to save it at the baseline, but the basketball over to Tuskegee.
Looked like there that three-pointer by Griffith didn't have quite the legs up under it. It was way short.
One of the signs you can look for as this ball game continues to unfold. Definitely a sign of fatigue. Walker across the timeline for Tuskegee now. Guarded by Jalen Williams. Rodney all the way through. Tried to leave it behind, but threw it right into the hands of Griffith down at the block. And here comes Clark-Atlanta. We're at the 15-minute mark remaining in the basketball game. Williams out front. Tried to get it inside to Jones. He's there to the glass. Banked it, and it stays down from Martez.
You know, if you're Clark-Atlanta, you want to kind of take the game and break it down into sections. You look, you know, you say every 3 minutes we need to cut 3 or 4 points off of this lead, as opposed to trying to say, hey, let's trade baskets or get this many points. Just start whittling the lead down so that if you get to the last 4 or 5 minutes and you're within about 6-7 points, you really find yourself having a chance.
Good call on that if you want to just win a few minutes at a time. Sesberry, right side, had it stripped at the block. It'll stay with Tuskegee as he was penetrating right side, and he'll be at the line shooting it. No, I think it's going to be side out instead of him being able to shoot. The shot clock showing just 1 second left. As Cologne makes it back out on the floor. 14-20 left in this basketball game. Tuskegee with a 47-32 lead. Walker looks to the inside and pushes to Pennington with 1 second left. Got it to the cylinder. He missed Goins. And they're going to say that was goaltend by him. That basketball still up the top of the cylinder as it went in. We'll take a look at it here. Entry pass, Pennington with the jumper. Notch Goins coming in on the back of your screen.
It was probably coming off, but you got to let it come off. Otherwise, they're going to do what they did and call goaltending.
47-32. Cologne with it out front. Nice cross dribble by him, but can't take advantage of it and gives it back out front to Williams. Now at the block, Jones. Martez home hard to the rack. Cambridge got a block on it, and they get a jump ball call. How about Dylan Cambridge there for Tuskegee? Tying up with strong Martez Jones at the block. Dylan with that strong upper body as well. They go man on man there, and Tuskegee will have it on the arrow.
He had to be patient on that block. He wanted to wait for Martez to make his move, and he was able to do that, and he timed that block just right.
Walker across to Pennington. They push it to Sesberry. And Cambridge just shoved out of the play there by Martez Jones. Just a clear foul there by Martez.
And again, he looks a bit tired, and there's some frustration that's coming from it too. This whole squad looks a little flustered.
Pennington out front. Martez knows all of these guys mostly from having played at Tuskegee just a year ago. Hill front, Draper trying to deny him the right side. Draper to the rack, banks it home left side.
Straight muscle right there. Draper just gave him a couple of bangs and went right up on the glass.
Martez playing him to the inside, knowing that that's a stronger side. But Draper converts nonetheless. Whistles on the shot in the corner by Jalen Williams. And a foul called. This one against Tuskegee. They'll call the foul on Dylan Cambridge, and Dylan's picked up his third. When Cambridge comes out on the floor, he comes out there with reckless abandon. He does not mind fouling, and Coach Taylor does not mind him fouling because that's the style that he plays, just very, very aggressive. 13-17 remains. Tuskegee with a 49-32 lead. And Clark-Atlanta will inbound it right of the cylinder when play resumes. Chance to acknowledge our friend Kati Warima listening in on the broadcast with us here at the broadcast table. 13-17 remains in this contest. Semifinal action here from Forbes Arena. Fuller with it, left side, back out front, Little for three. Front of the iron on the shot, but Cologne got the rebound. Now Fuller again out front. Again, air ball there, but it'll belong to Tuskegee. Last couple of three-pointers by Fuller. He has hardly elevated off the floor and not enough arm strength to get it to the cylinder.
Yeah, you were looking at him yesterday, hesitating even to shoot that three ball right from the top of the key. I don't know if it's just because that's not the shot he wants to take, or is he tired for real, but he wouldn't take it when he was wide open in the second half yesterday.
Pennington, half-court set, 12:45 remains in the ball game. He'll work it, top of the key, bounce past Draper. Draper hook shot in the paint. The spinner won't stay down. Tie up at the block. Noah Goins going to be guilty of that foul of Tuskegee as he was over the back of Griffith. So Noah Goins picks up his third as you look at some of the action in that half-court set. Spinner just would not cooperate with Draper in that half-court play inside the paint.
A little extra English on that short jump hook. Made it roll around and out.
Cologne, half-court set, right side Fuller. He's on his way to the rack and got space with the flush for Clark-Atlanta.
There's a burst of energy for you. Two hands for Shamani Fuller.
Says enough of this three-point stuff. Let me get it inside. All right, there at the block. Draper trying to get it there, but the pass by Sesbury too high, and Clark-Atlanta back the other way. That's the kind of thing that Tuskegee at this point, they don't really need that. They just got to get into a decent half-court set, run clock, and get a quality shot. Not the time to try to showboat. Out front, long-range jumper, knocked down by Griffith out front. He's got 3 field goals, and all 3 are three-pointers. Sesbury near the mid-stripe now. Doubled there, got it over to Walker. 11:40 remaining now. Clark-Atlanta trying to sway the momentum here inside Forbes Arena. Walker, foul line extended. Now it's cross dribble by him. And missed on the bank shot. Backside rebound. Boyce with the putback. He missed there. Draper got a hand on it. Now Clark-Atlanta clears.
Got to watch out here if you're Tuskegee. This crowd is very pro Clark-Atlanta. Another basket here could really start to tear the roof off of this place.
12-point lead for Tuskegee, 49-37. We're at 11:05 left in the ball game. Cologne out top. He'll slide right side. Griffith back out front. Here comes the three. Missed on the shot. Backside rebound. Sesbury had it. Cologne tapped it out of bounds. It'll stay with Tuskegee. And a timeout taken by Coach Taylor and Tuskegee. He understands the moment here, as you see Fuller understanding the moment, and went to the rack with the flush over Boyce and over Sesbury. Now Griffith out front. He bangs from out front to give Tuskegee, or the Panthers of Clark-Atlanta, an opportunity to cut into that Golden Tiger lead. Timeout on the floor. We'll take a break here. Tuskegee up by 12. Here, there, Simone. Not hearing much from Simone. Thought she said she had a report from behind that Tuskegee bench, but maybe not. 10:57 remains in the basketball game. Tuskegee with a 49-37 lead. And Coach Taylor taking that time out, trying to keep this crowd out of the basketball game. Full court pressure by Clark-Atlanta as Pennington attacks, and back over to Walker. Across the timeline now. Walker out front. He'll work it right side. Culpepper out on the floor. He handles. Pushes to Pennington left side. Cross dribble by Pennington, trying to get it to Draper at the block. Culpepper in the corner instead. Defense flies by. Culpepper jumper. Good by Double C for Tuskegee.
Went out flashing out on Culpepper. Maybe thought it was somebody else who's been hot, but Culpepper hadn't really been shooting it from out there. Allowed him to get that extra dribble and pull up from about 15 feet.
Jumper out front. That one creases the front of the rim as Draper clears a rebound for Tuskegee. Let's go sideline, Simone Stanley.
And the last time out, Coach Taylor looked at Sesberry and said, keep shooting. Nobody is stopping you. Defensively, he told the team to keep contesting and that Clark will take bad shots.
Pennington for three. Back of the iron on that one, and at the top, back to Clark-Atlanta. Thank you, Simone.
Even after that miss by Pennington, it looked like Taylor was saying, hey, go ahead, keep shooting it.
Sure, that's what got you here. And that's what he said at the intermission, was that they had to keep duplicating what he was speaking more about Sesberry. But overall, they got to keep doing what they did in the first 20 to get where they are now. They lead at 51-37 with under 10 minutes remaining. Malone works with it. He'll spin and penetrate right side. Now pulls back out on the move. Little at the blank left side and whistles way out front before that penetration. Before heading to the rack, so it's a non-shooting foul for Clark-Atlanta with 9:36 left.
And we talked about knocking points off over certain periods of time, so you don't have to keep shooting threes. You just got to get some good shots.
Griffith fires a three. The rimmer's off the mark. Jones and Draper down at the block. And it looks like it's going to stay on the Panther end of the floor, so Draper guilty of the foul. That's his second, as he and former teammate Martez Jones battling for a rebound. Griffith with it on the entry pass. Culpepper guarding him defensively. He'll turn with a jumper. Spinner's off the mark. Jones had a hand on it. It'll stay with Clark-Atlanta. I believe Draper came back and touched it last on the way out of bounds.
Tuskegee's got to find a way to get a stop and corral this rebound. Clark now having a third chance to try to get some points on this possession.
Jones with it out front. He'll give it over to Cologne. Right side, Jalen Williams with the basketball now. Inside, Draper tapped it out of bounds. They were trying to go inside to Martez Jones. So this half-court set has lasted for several seconds here on the Clark-Atlanta end of the floor. Now they're down to 10 to shoot. And they'll inbound it in the corner to Griffith. And they throw the basketball tap and want to get Rodney Walker with a foul. So Walker picks up that foul. And that'll give Clark-Atlanta a fresh 20 to start with 9:20 left in the ball game. So Jalen Williams will inbound it down to our right. Tuskegee still leading 51-37. Cologne out front. Out front with the jumpers, Little. Back of the iron on that shot. Basketball tapped around. Jones had it. Draper came back in, and they're going to stay on that end of the floor. Draper commits another foul. Now he's up to 3.
Well, they could not get it out of this half of the court, as Tuskegee has failed to grab any of the loose balls.
Take a look at the replay there. Tuskegee down at the block. Jones able to tap it. And Draper trying to come in and scrape it away, but he picks up his third. 20 again on the shot clock. They go to Fuller this time. Culpepper guarding him. Fuller to the rack. Missed on the shot. They finally get a rebound. Pennington does. Outlet pass Walker. Left side Sesberry. Pulls back Culpepper for 3. Got a look. Missed on the shot though. Too quick of a shot that time for Tuskegee in that half-court set.
You don't want to start counting the clock yet if you're Tuskegee. Good defensive play by Culpepper to get that one back.
On his knees. Got it to Walker, and Tuskegee back the other way. Walker out front, going to slow the pace just a little bit here. They lead 51-37. At the block, Draper. Draper on the move now. Lost it, spins back inside, bounces to Sesbury. Foul line extended, jumper Sesbury missed on the shot. Culpepper tapped it, Pennington behind the arc, thought about the three, pulls it back out. Here's Sesbury inside the paint, got space, jumper, good by Sesbury.
And once Cologne fell down, that was too late because Sesbury had a point-blank look for that bucket.
Yeah, on the inside that time. That'll take him to 23 in the basketball game with 8:04 left. And a timeout on the floor. Tuskegee with a 53-37 lead. Clark-Atlanta last time on their end of the floor kept it there for almost a minute before Tuskegee was able to come out of there. And Sesbury working inside the paint. Didn't take him a minute to get this shot inside for the basket. And we'll go to a timeout after that field goal. A hand raised. Let's raise our hand and go court side to Simone Stanley.
Got to listen into the Clark-Atlanta huddle. The message was there is a lot of game left. Offensively, Coach Jordan wants to see the team put pressure on the rim, and defensively, he wants the team to press to try to speed this game up.
Asking a bit there for those weary legs of Clark-Atlanta as Jones handles out front now on a weave. They almost throw it away, but Williams able to catch up with it. This time Pennington bats away the entry pass intended for Monetize Jones. Ozell Jackson back out on the floor. And he will replace Jalen Williams. 7:48 remains. And we're at the media timeout here, I believe. Tuskegee with a 53-37 lead over the Panthers of Clark-Atlanta. And we'll take a break here as Tuskegee heads to their huddle, and so does Clark-Atlanta. Back with more basketball after the timeout. Back live in Forbes Arena, Morehouse College, the site of the 2025 SIAC Men's and Women's Basketball Championships presented by Cricket. 7:48 remains in this semifinal contest. Tuskegee with a 53-37 lead over the Panthers of Clark-Atlanta. Amir Boyce out on the floor now for Tuskegee. So is Noah Goins. He's back out on the floor playing with three. Half court set for Clark-Atlanta. On the move, left side is Jones all the way to the rack. Shot blocked by Pennington on the inside. Sesbury with it now. He'll push into the front court set and lost the basketball over to Clark-Atlanta. Jones with it. Left side pushes across the floor. On the move with the basketball is Little. All the way under the rack. Tries a reverse lay-in. Missed on the shot. That one at the top of the cylinder. And it'll go back the other way to Tuskegee.
Well, that was a good job of transition defense there by Tuskegee. As it looked like Clark-Atlanta had numbers but was able to get back and make that shot a lot tougher for the Panthers. And unfortunately for CAU, was unable to convert.
Clark-Atlanta showing full court pressure now. Tuskegee with Walker. They're walking across the timeline to Pennington left side. He's doubled out front, pushes back to Walker on the other side of the floor. Now Sesbury handles right side, down in the corner to Goins. Noah had the defense fall behind him. Sesbury for three, and counted for Sesbury again.
He's unconscious here tonight. That's three-pointer number 6. 6 of 7 from downtown. He's got 26 tonight.
Had 28 in the quarterfinal ball game last night. Out front, Clark-Atlanta with it. They trail 56-37. On the move, right side, Jones at the block, and he got a lay-in for the Panthers. He's got 5 in the ball game. They will jump immediately into full court pressure with 6:30 remaining. Goins with it in the backcourt, double there, and it'll stay with Tuskegee. Noah in that backcourt helping out there, but he has to unload that basketball pretty quickly, knowing that trap is coming. Basketball batted in the backcourt, but over to Pennington, and now Sesbury across the timeline. Lost this dribble, looking out front. They gotta hurry, got it to Walker, over to Boyce, and back out front to Pennington. We'll work our way down to 6:08 remaining in the ball game. Slice dribble there, left side. Pennington on the move. Got some space. Jumper. Pennington missed on the shot. Boyce tapped into the back. And Martez Jones over the back of Amir Boyce. And Jones picks up his third personal for Clark-Atlanta.
It's got to be a bit demoralizing for Clark-Atlanta. You get the stop, get the tough shot there by Pennington, and a rebound is there for you to have, but Jones had gotten completely boxed out and basically gave a bear hug to Boyce.
Yeah, that's about the best way to describe it, having wrapped up under the arms. Underneath, Goins got the defense airborne, and he just slipped under and got a lay-in. He's got 4 in the ball game as we approach 5:47 left in the contest. Tuskegee with a 58-39 lead. Jumper out front by Jones, missed on the shot, and a rebound to Sesbury at the block. Wills just about coming off for Clark-Atlanta now. With 5:34 left, Boyce underneath, slides it across the floor, and a whistle. Amir with a nice recognition there to get that pass inside to Noah Goins. Non-shooting foul. Clark-Atlanta will inbound left of the cylinder. The captain of the team, D.A. Pennington, set to do that. Cologne back out on the floor. He'll replace a weary Martez Jones as he goes toward the sideline.
You know, the wheels may not be off just yet, but the tires are certainly flat, and pretty soon they're going to be working on rims.
Pennington punctured one of the tires with that three-point shot in the corner. That's his third three-pointer. And a timeout on the floor with 5:23 remaining. And Tuskegee has pushed his lead now to 61-39. We were talking a few minutes ago about weathering the storm with a charge by Clark-Atlanta when they had the fans in it. This three-pointer by Pennington leaving the hand in the air. He knew the result as soon as he let it go.
Yeah, you're looking at the Clark-Atlanta side, and, you know, they've got all these signs and face pictures and all that kind of stuff. They are collecting those things now as if they were fans at the church. Trying to wait for the next Sunday, because it's not looking real good here for the Panthers.
5:23 remains in regulation. Couple of looks at that shot by Pennington. He just has that arc that it just gets so high, just out of our camera range inside Ford's Arena, but when it comes down in the right spot for him.
Again, we knew it was going to be a tough play for Clark-Atlanta tonight, just based off of the effort that they had to put out against Kentucky State on Wednesday night. You feel, hey, look, they got a night off the rest. They get to play the last game. You got a chance to kind of recuperate. But that was a dogfight playing with 8 guys, and there were some heavy legs. We talked about it off air, Charles, the way they walked off the court, kind of leaning on each other. If you can kind of put to your mind the flu game with Michael Jordan back in '97, where Pippen basically had to carry him off the court because he couldn't barely stand up. He was so fatigued. That's how some of the Clark-Atlanta players looked when they left the floor Wednesday night. And then Tuskegee came out and blitzed them early, hitting 3 balls all over the place, getting to that double-digit lead. And Clark-Atlanta really did not have an answer for it. Even though there's 5+ minutes left here, not 20-something points, that's going to be a real tough play.
Play set to resume, and you know if this stays the way that it is, Coach Benchy Taylor is going to call head coach Jamal Jackson at Kentucky State and say thank you for letting them get a little bit weary, wearing them down a little bit for my guys to take it over in this semifinal ball game. Got to stay that way, though. 5:08 remains. Jumper out front. That one creases the rim, and the rebound comes away to Rodney Walker.
If the threes closer to the line weren't getting it done, the ones further away probably not going to help you a whole lot either.
Walker burning clock out front as Cologne guards him. Rodney works it right side, 15 to shoot. They go inside the paint. Boyce missed, but Noah Goins with the follow. And Goins with his third field goal of the ball game extends the lead at 63-39 with 4:35 left. Williams works it down at the left flank, and losing the basketball is Little at the block, but it'll be out of bounds off of Tuskegee and stay with Clark-Atlanta. Getting to that point of the ball game, A.A. Moore at 4:32 left. Got to burn enough, a couple of more minutes to really kind of declare this one out of reach for Goins going to be Gildo the Folly. The Goins are voice, and it'll be Goins. So Noah has picked up his fourth.
You know, we can wait a little bit, but I think the Associated Press has already called this one, Charles. This one is probably in the books for Tuskegee, and Coach Taylor, in a moment, probably will be able to start turning his mind towards the championship game against Savannah State on tomorrow afternoon.
From the free throw line, Griffith got the first. He'll have one more coming. And for Tuskegee, if it stays this way, they will have both the men and women's program into the championship till tomorrow. The women for Tuskegee will meet the #1 seed out of the West and the defending SIAC champs. And the Lady Bears of Miles College, that'll be a 1 p.m. tip. And Savannah State waiting in the wings, almost now getting their game plan together for Tuskegee. With about 4:22 remaining, Savannah will meet the winner of this contest in the men's championship ball game tomorrow.
You know, that's been happening a little bit the last couple of years. Actually, Miles, each of the last 2 years, put both their men's and women's programs in the championship. That Tuskegee Miles matchup is going to be a rematch from 2 years ago when the Golden Tigers defeated the Lady Bears to win the SIAC title.
Under head coach Delane Powell. This time that'll be Shiante Wesker. She's in her second season at Tuskegee University with a chance to claim her first title. And as we talked about that in the women's ball game early on, she had to go out and kind of rebuild that Tuskegee women's program from a year ago. And at the line, it's Jalen Williams shooting for Clark-Atlanta. Missed on the free throw, and down to the surface is Goins. And he was held. We'll go back to the other end of the floor.
Yeah, and you're talking about these doubles. You know, Clark-Atlanta came in here into this tournament.
Sure.
Both of their teams won the Eastern Division, and unfortunately today the women went down also to Tuskegee, and now the men's program is about to do the same.
Yeah, that double matchup, it's rare to find that in a tournament that hosts both men and women. And this one could have gone either way. It could have been double Clark into the championship or double Tuskegee. With 4 minutes remaining, looks like it's going to be double TU. Draper looks to the inside. Noah was wide open, but Kasame is going to take the better choice of burning clock at this point. 13 to shoot. We're at 3:47 remaining. Walker give to Draper. Now Goins at the block. Pennington out front. Jumper again. Pennington missed on the shot. Follows the rebound. And a whistle down low.
And the few shots have not fallen from downtown for Tuskegee.
We had a timeout taken on the floor. I think there was a foul called on the inside. I think they called that on Draper. That'll be his fourth as we go back to the other end of the floor. We'll step out here with 3:38 remaining, and Tuskegee leading at 63-40 over the Panthers of Clark-Atlanta. At the line for the Panthers of Clark-Atlanta, it's Mari Little, the redshirt junior from Chester, Pennsylvania, to shoot. 3:38 remains in this contest, and Tuskegee with a 63-40 lead. And eyeing their spot in the SIAC championship ball game tomorrow at 4:30. Free throw made by Little. He's got 5 in the ball game. Teams met once during the course of the regular season. Tuskegee losing to Clark-Atlanta by a point, 51-50. But Tuskegee making a point of this in this semifinal ball game. That ball game was on the road, and Tuskegee almost pulling that one out. But right now, large advantage for Tuskegee in the semifinals, where it really matters most. Sesberry out front, got it out to Walker. Now Pennington across the floor, Sesberry. 13 to shoot, entry pass Draper. He'll turn toward the rack, head fake at the block, and he's fouled at the baseline.
Well, not quite the four-corner strategy that you would see back in the day prior to the implementation of the shot clock, but certainly they're just playing the delay game here, letting the clock burn.
Draper with a good stutter step there at the block. And got past Fuller's defense, and Fuller commits the foul. Draper in the ball game, 8 points, 4 rebounds for Tuskegee. Sesberry, leader of this team, as Draper got that first free throw. Showing him at 21 points here on the stat sheet that I've got. I got to probably update mine just a little bit here. Yeah, I'm a little bit earlier in the ball game. That was at the 51-37 mark. I know you had him at 26 just a few moments ago. Draper missed on the second free throw, but Goins runs it down toward Tuskegee, a fresh 20 for them. Across the floor now, Pennington, he'll backpedal and back to Draper. Draper steps inside to the rack. They'll finish there. They'll count the basket, and a foul called inside on a very tired Shamani Fuller for Clark-Atlanta. He could barely get there for the defensive stance there against Draper.
And Fuller, again, we talked about it a little earlier. You know he's an outstanding ball player,
Indeed.
but the fatigue had set in very early. You could see it. Clark-Atlanta could not match the energy of Tuskegee coming out of the blocks. As you see here late in the ball game, with this result no longer in doubt, Clark-Atlanta just not doing much of anything at this point. They would probably rather for it just to be over.
Sesberry will go to the line for Clark-Atlanta. Coach Benchy Taylor doing a little dance there on the sideline, running the sideline for Tuskegee. That one out of excitement with 3:01 remaining, knowing that they are right there at the front door, set to walk in to championship play. Sesberry to shoot.
This is a senior-laden squad, too, so for a lot of these guys, this is going to be their final collegiate ball games. You look at their roster. Griffith's a senior. Jones is a senior. Williams is a senior. Fuller is a senior. Jackson, it's going to be a pretty complete reload here for Clark-Atlanta for 25-26. Tuskegee doesn't have to worry about that at least for another game.
Sure, you're right about that. Cologne at the block, Jones, and challenged on the inside. Sesberry denies that flush by Martez on the inside. Jones will be at the line shooting.
Trying to have one more memory, and Sesberry said it's not going to be right now.
Not right now. 2:47 left. Martez, got to wonder what's going through his mind. Transferred from Clark-Atlanta a year ago into the program in Atlanta. Left Tuskegee. Now Tuskegee with a chance to go into the championship ball game. Martez may be wondering, did I make the wrong move in terms of the team I allied with here in his senior year?
The grass is not always greener on the other side, and over here in Atlanta at CAU, the grass, or at least the turf, is generally red anyway.
Yeah, it's not even green. Right? Nice call. I like that. You dug deep for that one, didn't you? 2:36 left. Salisbury works it out front. Doubled there. Lost it momentarily. Now he loses it completely. Back the other way, Williams. He'll lean back, fire a three, and missed on the shot. Goins clears for Tuskegee. We go down to 2:15 left in the ballgame. So a double celebration for the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee over Clark-Atlanta. Pennington behind the arc now. Will go down to 2:05. He'll backpedal. Senior from Kansas City, Missouri, on the move, right side. Across the floor now, basketball tapped and taken away. And back the other way comes Jalen Williams. Did we get out of the building? Almost. Almost had our third tumble here, right? Salisbury about to run into us here. We had two in quarterfinal action already tumbling here. And we did get a little action up here. I was about to start a wager before this ball game as to whether we would get another entry here over the scorer's desk here in front of us, and we got one before we're done.
Yeah, if we had a heat map or a shot chart going on here at the table, that certainly would be the hot spot to our left.
Indeed. 18 remaining here in this semifinal ball game. Can we get clear without getting trampled here?
Amazingly, the same person has been sitting at that spot. She's almost been run over multiple times. She has started to pack her things.
It's like, I'm getting out of here.
I'm not taking any more chances.
A minute 10 left. Coach Taylor now getting set to empty his bench. So some of these players that would ordinarily not get in, set to come in. Christopher Whitmore over there, Julian Watson, Roy Saint, Dylan Cambridge has already been in this ball game once. So 3 new faces. As Kevin Seasbury departs, he'll get a high five. D.A. Pennington, he departs, he gets a high five. Noah Goins, he departs, he gets a high five. Feel like Oprah here, everybody gets a high five. And at the line, he'll be departing after the free throws, Rodney Walker. He'll rattle that one, and he'll go to the bench, and he will get a high five and a hug from Julian Watson.
You look at how this bracket has unfolded here on the men's side. I don't think anyone had it to be in Savannah State and Tuskegee, maybe except the fans of the respective schools, but I would bet that one of the schools didn't see the other one getting ready to play for this title on tomorrow afternoon.
I believe your bet would be safe. Clark-Atlanta turns it over just one more time with 62 seconds left as we get a shot of Coach Alfred Jordan at the sideline with his hands on his hip, knowing that there's nothing else that he can do. His Panthers will game, but just not enough body parts. At the block, Boyce, he'll square. Jumper by Amir to the glass, and he missed on the shot as Griffin clears for Clark-Atlanta. 40 seconds left. He'll fire from out front. Banked it, but missed on the shot. Cambridge with another rebound. Watson across the timeline now, and Julian works it left side to Whitmore. Entry pass, Cambridge. And about a 4-second differential between the shot clock and what's left on the game clock. Tuskegee started early, stayed on task, and they'll win it big here in this semifinal ball game with shot clock violation on instruction by Coach Taylor not to shoot the basketball, not to add insult or try to insult Clark-Atlanta. They just run the shot clock out, and they'll let Clark-Atlanta run it out with 5 seconds left. Williams will have it out front, and that is the way this one will end. Clark-Atlanta with an impressive win in this semifinal ball game over the Panthers of CAU. Not a whole lot Clark could do. They fell behind early, and just Tuskegee, that's all you can say. They played extremely well. Be interesting to see, trying to see the handshake between head coach Benchy Taylor and Martez Jones, former player at Tuskegee, and they get a hug and an embrace there. And Martez Jones finishing up his season. He, D.A. Pennington, all teammates from the fourth. Chip Culpepper former teammate, Austin Taylor, Evan Howell, all of those guys knowing Martez Jones extremely well because Martez actually grew up in Tuskegee, Alabama as an added element to his play at Tuskegee. So the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee punching their ticket into the championship ball game after the win over the number 1 seed out of the East, the Panthers of Clark-Atlanta. For the road for Tuskegee, they won in first round play against Benedict, quarterfinal win against the Golden Rams of Albany State, a team they lost to twice in the regular season, and they win it here in this semifinal matchup against the Panthers of CAU.
Clark-Atlanta scored the first 2 points of the ball game. Kind of hard to believe that at any point they had the lead, but the Panthers were up, and then they got buried as he started to drain triples from all over the floor, and it didn't take much longer after that for Tuskegee to get complete domination and find a way into the championship game.
Finding both players or a coach that was a big part of that was Kevin Sesberry and head coach Benji Taylor surrounding Simone Stanley.
Kevin, y'all take down the defending champs to punch a ticket to the championship game. How did that win feel?
It feels amazing, man. It feels amazing, man. It's just a blessing to be here. That's all I can say. It's just a blessing to be here. We did what we were supposed to do. We executed. We followed what Coach said. We got the job done.
Coach, a decisive win. Y'all led for 38 minutes. What are you most impressed by from this performance tonight?
Well, this tournament we've learned from our mistakes all season. We had them like that at our place and let them back in it and lost a tough game. We're just growing up right in front of your eyes, and we just focus on the guys in the locker room, and God is good.
One of those guys in the locker room is Kevin, who's a star. 27 points tonight, 6 of 7 from 3. What was working so well for you?
We just played a team game, and when you play right, when you play the right way, you're going to hit shots. It's just simple as that. When you play the right way, you're going to hit shots.
You have Savannah State tomorrow. What's the mindset going into the championship game?
We'll have to play our best game in order to win it. We both teams deserve to be there. Savannah State's been through a lot this year, but make no mistakes about it. They're a good ball club.
Mindset going into tomorrow?
Get a win. Get a win. That's all. That's everything. Get a win. No matter at what cost, at any cost, get a win.
And keep shooting.
Yeah.
I got one thing to say. Gilbert Arenas, this is the new Agent Zero.
Agent Zero, congratulations.
You heard him. Thank you.
Thank you, Simone. Thank you, Kevin Sesberry, and thank you, head coach Benji Taylor. As they punch their ticket to the championship round, they will meet the Tigers of Savannah State at 4:30 p.m. right here inside Forbes Arena on the men's side. And women's action at 1 o'clock. It'll be the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee meeting the Golden Bears on the women's side from Miles College in championship action here tomorrow from Forbes. You heard Simone reference the numbers by Sesberry. He finished with 27 in the ball game, 6 of 7 from behind the arc, 3 of 4 from the free throw line, 6 rebounds and with 1 steal and 3 assists. Pennington with 15. Walker finished with 7. Goins had 6. And Draper finished with 11. For Tuskegee, they shot 49% from the floor over the course of this ball game, 25 of 51 shooting. And from behind the arc, they were at 55% at 11 of 20 shooting from there to take the win over the Panthers of Clark-Atlanta, who were led in scoring by Griffith, with most of his points coming from behind the arc. He was the only player for Clark-Atlanta in double figures, as this was just a dominating performance by the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee.
They took over right from the beginning, never let up. Clark-Atlanta playing from a bit of a deficit even before it stepped on the floor, and Tuskegee never gave the Panthers a chance to get any kind of advantage. And when you do that to a team, you know, you put the rest of the tournament, in this case it's just going to be Savannah State, you put them on notice. Do not let Sesberry get off early, because he's done it twice now, and it's turned out big for Tuskegee both times.
Had 28 in the quarters and finishes with 27 here tonight in this semifinal ball game. So we're set for championship play tomorrow. First ball game, Miles College, the women, and Tuskegee's women. And then at 4:30, it's Savannah State and these Golden Tigers of Tuskegee for the championship here 2025. Coverage will be provided by ESPNU. We thank you all for watching our coverage. It's ESPN Plus. We're told that it's Plus. So they'll be here with the coverage tomorrow. And we have enjoyed our coverage here. Glad to work with you, A.A. Moore, in a tournament for the first time. We got through quarterfinal play and through the semis here this afternoon.
And I'm sure they'll do a good job bringing it home tomorrow. We should have 2 great ball games. Charles, thanks for carrying me here the last couple of days.
Oh, boy, yeah, you were pretty heavy. So I'm going to lift this load. And thanks to James Crenshaw and to our outstanding crew for their work here over the tournament. Quality shots and the production under Mr. Crenshaw is always top-notch and stellar. That'll do it for our coverage. Once again, Tuskegee into the championship with a win, 68-46 over the Panthers of Clark-Atlanta. Be sure to tune in for championship coverage tomorrow right here from Forbes Arena. On behalf of the entire broadcast crew and production team, Charles Ward saying thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time.